Hello, friends. Welcome back to English Classes Online. My name is Benjamin. Today's video is on adverbial clauses in English. Learn 9 types of adverbial clauses. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. You will also find a bell icon. Click on it and that will ensure that whenever a new video is uploaded on this channel, you will be notified instantly. Let's dive into the lesson right away. What is an adverbial clause? An adverbial clause is a subordinate clause used as an adverb in a sentence. You know that an adverb is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Well, you will find a video that discusses this topic in greater detail, talking about adverbs, how to use adverbs correctly in English. Check the description section below and you will find a video lesson that explains how adverbs are used in English sentences. Now, today our focus is on the adverbial clause. Adverbial clauses usually tell us when, where, why, how, for what purpose, to what extent, or under what condition an action is performed. In other words, adverbial clauses give us additional information about the action described by a verb in a sentence. All right? Now, if you say, for instance, that Messi plays, well, there are a lot of questions that will arise. If the question is what Messi plays, then a noun or a noun phrase or a noun clause will answer such questions. All right? You can say that Messi plays football. Now, but if the question is how does Messi play, or where does Messi play, or when does Messi play, you know, then of course you will need adverbs or adverbial phrases or adverbial clauses to provide information or answers to such questions. All right? Now, talking about when does Messi play, then you can say Messi plays whenever Barcelona has a match with another team. All right? Or whenever Barcelona is playing with another team. All right? So, and if the question is, you know, where, for example, that also requires an adverbial clause. So that shows you the kind of grammatical function that adverbial clauses perform in English sentences. Now, we are going to learn 9 types of adverbial clauses, and we are going to look at copious examples. The first one is adverbial clause of time. Now, an adverbial clause of time shows when something happens. It basically provides answer to the question when. All right? When did it happen? Or when does it happen? Now, an adverbial clause of time usually begins with WH words or other subordinating clause, subordinating conjunctions such as when, while, before, after, until, since, and so on. For example, Junior visited us when we were in Kaduna. Now let's look at this specifically. Now, talking about, if we say Junior visited us, if we put a full stop here, then the question that arises, one of the questions that can arise naturally is when. All right. If you say Junior visited us, someone might want to know, when did Junior visit us? Well, Junior visited us when we were in Kaduna. So you can see when we were in Kaduna is an adverbial clause of time, because it tells us the time when Junior visited us. Now, let's look at the next example. Rose swept the house before she went to school. Again, using the border principle, we can put a full stop here. Rose swept the house. The question is when. When did Rose sweep the house? Well, Rose swept the house before she went to school. So before she went to school was the time when Rose swept the house. So you can see that an adverbial clause of time always provides answer to the question when. So if the question is when did something occur, then you are looking for an adverbial clause of time. Now, the next type of adverbial clause is an adverbial clause of place, and it shows us where something happens. It is about place, that is where. Where did it happen? Now, or where does it happen? Now, for example, fools run where angels fear to tread. So if we use the border principle, and then fools run, and we put a full stop, someone will ask, where do fools run? All right. That's one of the questions that can naturally arise. And then we can say, where angels fear to tread. Actually, it is a wise saying. Fools run where angels fear to tread. So where angels fear to tread, if you like, is actually the adverbial clause. Fools run where angels fear to tread. Now, the second example, people like to shop where prices are low. So if you say people like to shop and we put a full stop, the question is, where do people like to shop? The answer is where prices are low, or where they will find where they can buy things at cheaper rates. All right. Okay, so now let's go to the third type of adverbial clause, and that is adverbial clause of manner. It shows how something happens. All right. And it begins with words like as if, or as though. For example, Moses did it as the Lord commanded him. Now, as the Lord commanded him is an adverbial clause of manner. It shows how Moses did it. Now, if we say Moses did it and someone asks, how did Moses do it? Well, the answer is as the Lord commanded him. That was exactly how he did it. All right, so the next example, the bereaved woman wept as if her life had come to an end. Now, how did she weep? As if her life had come to an end. So that also is an adverbial clause of manner. Number 4, adverbial clause of purpose. This type of adverbial clause shows for what purpose something is done. It indicates the purpose of an action. For example, Jude started an online business that he may earn passive income. Now, that he may earn passive income is the purpose of his starting an online business. All right? Then the second example, we eat that we may live. That we may live is the purpose of our eating. We eat that we may live. All right, so let's look at the fifth type of adverbial clause. And of course, these are adverbial clauses of degree, comparison, or proportion. They are similar, all right? Now, and this type of adverbial clause shows the degree or extent of an action, the quality or manner. Now, let's look at how it begins. It begins with as much as or something, then than. Now, let's look at example A. Jane cannot run as fast as Mary does. Now, as fast as Mary does is the adverbial clause of, well, you can call it adverbial clause of degree because it shows the degree, you know, the extent to which Jane or Mary does. Again, it compares how the extent of Mary's speed with that of Mary. I mean that between Jane and Mary, we find a comparison. If you are looking at proportion, all right, the extent, that also is actually applicable. So now the second example, John is much younger than James is. So it compares the age of John to that of James. At the same time, it is also showing us the extent of either their youth or their old age, all right? So that is that. Now, number 6, adverbial clause of result. This type of adverbial clause shows the result of an action, and it begins with a word like that or so that. For example, Cain was so worried that he could hardly sleep. That he could hardly sleep is the adverbial clause of result. Now, that he could hardly sleep is the result of his being so worried, all right? So it shows us the result of something. Now, example B, Andrew spoke so well that the audience gave him a standing ovation. That the audience gave him a standing ovation is the result of Andrew having spoken so well. All right, so that is about the adverbial clause of result. It shows us the result of an action or a state or feeling. Now let's go to number 7. The adverbial clause type 7 is the adverbial clause of condition, and it gives the condition for an action to occur. It begins with if, unless, provided, or providing. Now, for example, the match will be canceled if it rains. If it rains is the conditional clause, is the adverbial clause of condition. Now, if you are interested in learning about conditional sentences, you will find a video in the description section that will give you a detailed audiovisual explanation about conditional sentences and how they can be used correctly in English speech and writing. Now, example B, you won't pass your exams unless you study hard. Now, unless you study hard is the conditional clause, is the adverbial clause of condition, because it is giving us a condition, a condition under which you won't pass your exams. All right. So unless you study hard, you won't pass your exams. All right. Now, number 8, adverbial clause of concession. When you concede something, you actually you make a provision for an alternative or a contrasting idea. All right. So you accept a contrary opinion. You accommodate it. That's what the adverbial clause of condition does. It shows a contrast. It accommodates an opposing idea or a contrastive idea. It usually begins with though, although, even though, even if, whereas, or while. Now, for example, though he is old, he does his exercises regularly. Though he is old, he does his exercises regularly. Now, though he is old is the adverbial clause of condition. Now, we say, well, he does his exercises regularly, though he is old, all right? So these two ideas seem to contrast, all right? When someone is old, is expected to have grown weak, but this one is seemingly energetic because he does his exercises regularly. So that is what the adverbial clause of concession does. It concedes, it actually accommodates a contrastive idea. Now, example B, although Samson was physically strong, he was morally weak. You see, the adverbial clause of concession is although Samson was physically strong. Now, we are saying he was morally weak, but despite that he was morally weak, he was, physically strong. All right? So that is exactly what the adverbial clause of concession does. Now, the last but not the least type of adverbial clause is the adverbial clause of reason. It gives the reason for an action, and it usually begins with because, since, that, inasmuch as, since, and so on, more, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's look at examples. Luke missed his flight because he arrived late at the airport. Now, an adverbial clause of reason provides answer to the question why. So if we put a full stop, after the main clause, if you say Luke missed his flight, someone wants to know why he missed his flight. And so the adverbial clause of reason provides the reason quite clearly. Because he arrived late at the airport, that's just the clear reason he missed his flight. Now, example B, you have to forgive him since he has apologized for his misconduct. Now, if we say you have to forgive him and the person you are talking to asks you why must I forgive him? Well, since he has apologized for his misconduct, that is the adverbial clause of reason. So this is where we are going to draw the curtain in today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you learned sufficient lessons that will enable you to use adverbial clauses correctly in your English speech and writing. Now, if you actually enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video and share it with your friends and relations. Give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so, because on this channel, we we discuss various topics of interest in the English language. We teach all the areas of proficiency in English learning. And of course, whether you are talking about, the orals or the writing skills or the grammatical structures or story writing or perhaps the oral English. Well, all the various areas of proficiency, including summary writing, reading comprehension, spellings, and, mechanical accuracy, all the various types, various important topics in English learning are taught on this channel. And beyond that, we also teach you very important topics on content creation, content marketing, digital marketing, and online business. All right. We share ideas with you on how you can make money online. So if you are interested in videos like this actually is the right channel where you will find a lot of useful videos that will share these ideas with you and enable you to excel in whatever you are doing. So I want to say a big thank you to all of you who have been part of today's video. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Now, if there is any particular topic you have in mind that you would want us to discuss in subsequent videos, you can also include them there. I want to say a big thank you once again. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye for now and remain blessed. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you in the new video. Thank you and